The reason that a two-state solution would critically jeopardize Israel's security is probably easiest explained by portraying what the significance of this territory is. From the territory designated for a Palestinian state in the West Bank or Judea and Samaria, you control the entire infrastructure of Israel, both military and civilian and economic. All airfields, military and civilian, including the only international airport, harbors, civilian harbors, and the naval bases, the entire road system and the rail system, the entire land transport system, vital infrastructure installations and systems like power stations, power generation, power transmission, communications, sweet water system, vital centers of civilian government and of military command, and 80% of the population and 80% of the economic activity. All of these will be in range of weapons being used today by territory relinquished to the Palestinians. So this is not a scenario that can be dismissed as right-wing scaremongering. This is already the political precedent. Now, if this territory were to fall into the hands of radical extremists, I'm sure even the people who proposed the two-state solution would agree that this would be an untenable result. So even if you find a mythical moderate Palestinian who's prepared to sign an agreement with it and really wants to honor all of the clauses in it, how can you guarantee his continued incumbency? And this again is not scaremongering. This is what happened in Gaza. The allegedly secular Fatah was displaced by radical Islamists. Now this would make life in Israel completely untenable. So you have to understand that this is the risk, and you can't manage it by hoping that potential dangers won't precipitate. You have to have a policy which takes into consideration that your hoped for scenario may not be the scenario you get, and therefore going along this route is completely and totally irresponsible, a total eclipse of common sense and a total abdication of moral responsibility.
And what would you suggest to those who are thinking that a two-state is the only solution?
Well, I would suggest to wake up. I would suggest, what's your plan B? How do you contend with these with these situations which are no longer situations that can be dismissed? These are situations that have to be planned for. And what do you do? What do you do in the post-Goldstone era when Israel's retaliation, its right of self-defense is being questioned? And even if it's not being questioned, what about the fate of the Palestinians who will be caught up in massive fighting to try and secure the Israeli coastal metropolis? I think it's a totally delusional plan. It may have been somehow justified in the heady days of Oslo naivety, but two decades later, with the bitter experience of death and destruction and tragedy and trauma for both people, by the way, not only for the Israelis, I think that both common sense and responsibility and intelligence militate against abandoning this approach.